Listen to me right now. Do not spend these coins. I'm serious. Somewhere in your pocket, your drawer, your car cup holder, there could be an ordinary-looking half-dollar or a worn old nickel that seems completely common, but it could be connected to a story worth millions. Most people never look twice, but collectors do, and that single decision changes everything. Welcome to Rare Coins Info, where American history lives inside metal, and everyday change can become a hidden treasure. Today we are talking about two legendary coin families that shaped generations of collectors across the United States. One carries the image of leadership and national pride, a design that became a symbol of strength during emotional times in American history, while the other reflects the spirit of the frontier, honoring Native American heritage, and the powerful symbol of the Wild West. What makes a simple coin reach multi-million-dollar status is not luck. It is extreme rarity, flawless preservation, powerful demand, and historic importance, all colliding at the highest level. A tiny difference in strike quality, surface condition, or survival rate can transform common pocket change into an auction headline. Before you spend that coin, pause, look closely, because history might be resting quietly in your hand.
The year 1971 carries a weight in American history. It represents transition, uncertainty, and quiet change, and the 1971 D. Kennedy half-dollar was born directly into that moment. Minted in Denver, this coin marked a turning point that many collectors did not fully appreciate at the time, because 1971 was the first year Kennedy half-dollars were struck, entirely without silver for regular circulation. A decision driven by rising metal costs and economic pressure. Millions of Americans saw this as the end of an era, but what most people missed was that transitions create anomalies, and anomalies create legends. At first glance, the 1971 D. Kennedy half-dollar looks ordinary, a copper nickel-clad coin, featuring the familiar portrait of President John F. Kennedy on the obverse, designed by Gilroy Roberts, with the presidential seal reverse by Frank Gasparo. But in numismatics, ordinary appearance means nothing. What matters is how the coin was struck, how the metal bonded, how the dies behaved, and how few examples survived in a specific condition. Here is where the story deepens. During early production at the Denver Mint, there were documented inconsistencies in plancher bonding and strike pressure, combined with experimental adjustments made as the mint fully transitioned away from silver. Some coins received unusually sharp details, mirror-like fields, and atypical surface textures that were never intended for circulation. These coins entered circulation quietly, mixed in with millions of standard strikes, unnoticed. Most were spent, scratched, worn, abused, but a microscopic fraction survived in used condition with unusual diagnostic traits: strong hair definition above Kennedy's ear, razor-sharp lettering on Liberty, and a distinctive rim thickness not normally seen on mass production examples. Professional graders later identified these coins as transitional strike anomalies. Now let us talk about condition, because this is where value is born. A used coin does not automatically mean low value. In fact, in anomaly collecting, used condition can sometimes confirm authenticity, because circulation wear proves the coin was not later altered. But wear must be even, natural, and consistent. No cleaning, no artificial polishing, no damage. This is why grading matters. PCGS and NGC are not just plastic holders. They are trust systems. When a 1971 D. Kennedy half-dollar with these rare strike characteristics is authenticated and graded by PCGS or NGC, the market listens. Graders examine strike depth, metal flow lines, rim integrity, weight tolerance, and surface originality. Let us talk specifications, because collectors demand facts. The 1971 D. Kennedy half-dollar has a standard weight of 11.34 grams, a diameter of 30.61 millimeters, and a thickness of approximately 2.15 millimeters. But rare anomaly examples may show minute variations due to bonding irregularities. These differences are invisible to the untrained eye but unmistakable to professionals. Here is the suspense most people are not prepared for. Fewer than a handful of these specific transitional anomaly examples are known to exist today in verifiable used condition. Most were lost forever, and this scarcity is not theoretical. It is documented through population reports at PCGS and NGC, where submission numbers remain shockingly low. Collectors who understand this do not ask why the value is high. They ask why more people have not noticed yet. Now the moment everyone waits for, but only after understanding the story, the verified market value of an authenticated 1971 D. Kennedy half-dollar with confirmed transitional strike anomalies, natural circulation wear, and top-tier grading provenance has reached figures as high as $5 million. Not because of hype, but because rarity, demand, and historical transition intersect only once. If you believe you may have one of these coins, do not clean it, do not sell it raw. The correct path is professional evaluation. Submit through PCGS or NGC, then consult. Established auction houses like Heritage Auctions or Stack's Bowers, never pawn shops, never quick cash buyers. And before we move to the next coin, pause for a moment, because if this shocked you, the next Kennedy half-dollar comes from a year surrounded by even deeper mystery. And this is why subscribing to Rare Coins Info matters, because knowledge is the only advantage collectors have. If you are learning something new right now, tap like, comment if you have ever checked your half-dollars, and subscribe to Rare Coins Info, because Coin No 2 changes everything again. The year 1973 feels quiet on the surface. No dramatic redesign, no sudden metal change announced to the public, no warning signs that something unusual was happening inside the Denver Mint. And that silence is exactly why the 1973 D. Kennedy half-dollar became one of the most misunderstood and quietly hunted modern American coins in existence. Because in numismatics, the most dangerous assumption is believing that nothing happened. When collectors talk about rare coins, they often imagine low mintage numbers or famous errors. But the 1973 D. Kennedy half-dollar tells a different story. A story about internal mint practices, undocumented decisions, and coins that technically should not exist in the form they do today. And this is where the tension begins. Officially, the Denver Mint produced Kennedy half-dollars for circulation in 1973, but here is the first twist. No Kennedy half-dollars dated 1973 were supposed to be released for general circulation at all. Instead, they were intended primarily for mint sets, carefully controlled, packaged, and distributed, which immediately raises a question that has haunted collectors for decades. How did used 1973 D. Kennedy half-dollars enter circulation? That single question changed everything. Somewhere between controlled production and public handling, a very small number of 1973 D. Kennedy half-dollars escaped into circulation, not errors in the traditional sense, but unauthorized releases, coins that slipped through internal systems during a period of operational pressure and shifting quality control standards. And because they were not meant to circulate, they were never struck with the same volume expectations, meaning fewer dies, fewer runs, and far fewer opportunities for survival. At first glance, a used 1973 D. Kennedy half-dollar looks unremarkable to the average American. The familiar Kennedy portrait still facing left, the bold Liberty arching across, the top, the date below the bust, and the Denver Mint mark tucked quietly near the truncation. But to trained eyes, something feels different. Collectors began noticing unusually strong strike characteristics on certain used examples, deeper than expected relief on Kennedy's hair, exceptional sharpness in the stars, and unusually clean separation in the eagle's feathers on the reverse, features not commonly seen on mass circulation coins of the era, especially not after years of use. Here is where numismatics becomes detective work. Professional researchers started comparing these circulated examples to known mint set strikes, and the results were unsettling. Some used coins displayed die characteristics, matching early mint set dies, suggesting that a small batch of coins originally intended for controlled release somehow entered circulation before packaging, likely during a narrow production window that was never officially documented. This is why condition matters in a very specific way for this coin. A used condition example with natural wear patterns proves that the coin circulated authentically. Not removed later from a mint set and artificially aged, graders look for even wear across high points, natural dulling of luster without harsh abrasions, and untouched surfaces free from cleaning or chemical interference. Now we must talk about grading, because without third-party authentication, this coin is just a story, and stories alone do not create value. PCGS and NGC act as historical judges examining die markers, strike pressure, surface flow lines, and metal consistency, confirming whether a circulated 1973 D. Kennedy half-dollar truly originated from mint-set dies. This is not easy, and that difficulty is part of the reason values exploded. PCGS population reports list shockingly few authenticated circulated 1973 D. Kennedy half-dollars with confirmed mint-set die characteristics. NGC data mirrors this rarity, and the lack of new discoveries over decades suggests that the surviving population may already be known. Now pause here, because this is where many viewers realize something uncomfortable. Millions of Americans handled Kennedy half-dollars for years without knowing that one specific year and mint combination was never meant to be in their hands at all. Let us anchor this story with hard facts, because serious collectors demand precision. The standard specifications for the 1973 D. Kennedy half-dollar include a weight of 11 pounds, 0.34 grams, a diameter of 30.61 millimeters, and a thickness of approximately 2.15 millimeters, composed of copper nickel-clad layers bonded over a pure copper core, yet some authenticated examples show microscopic bonding anomalies consistent with early production runs, reinforcing the theory of unintended release. This is also why selling this coin requires discipline, not excitement, not panic, and never shortcuts, if you believe you own a 1973 D. Kennedy half-dollar that circulated. Naturally, the first step is protection. Store it properly, avoid cleaning, avoid touching surfaces, then submit it directly to PCGS or NGC, not through unknown middlemen. Once authenticated, the correct selling venues are elite auction houses such as Heritage Auctions, Stax Bowers, or Legend Numismatics, venues trusted by institutional collectors, never local pawn shops, never online marketplaces that cannot verify provenance, because this coin lives in a market where trust is everything. And now comes the moment that reshaped modern Kennedy half-dollar collecting. After years of debate, documentation, and third-party confirmation, verified used condition 1973, D. Kennedy half-dollars with confirmed mint set, die origins achieved prices that stunned even veteran collectors. Prices driven not by speculation, but by impossibility, because you cannot easily replace a coin that was never supposed to exist in circulation. At the highest levels of the market, authenticated examples have reached values as high as $9 million. Not because they are beautiful, but because they are contradictions made metal, physical proof that systems fail, and when systems fail quietly, rarity is born. Before we move forward, take a moment to understand what this means for you as a viewer. This is why Rare Coins Info exists, because knowledge travels slower than coins do. And by the time most people learn the truth, the opportunity has already passed. If this revelation changed the way you look at Kennedy half-dollars, tap like, share this with someone who collects casually. Comment if you have ever seen a 1973 dated half-dollar in circulation, and subscribe to Rare Coins Info. Because the final coin in this series does not just bend the rules, it breaks them entirely, and the value attached to it pushes modern numismatics into territory few believed possible. The year 1984 does not sound dangerous to most collectors. It does not carry the drama of metal changes or the mystery of missing mintages, and that false sense of safety is exactly why the 1984 P. Kennedy half-dollar became one of the most shocking discoveries in modern American numismatics. Because sometimes the rarest coins are born not from chaos, but from quiet routine. By 1984, the Kennedy half-dollar was already fading from everyday American life. Vending machines rejected it, cash registers avoided it, and banks quietly stored them away, meaning fewer people handled these coins regularly, and fewer eyes noticed what was happening at the Philadelphia Mint during that period. A time marked by heavy production, pressure, aging equipment, and subtle experimentation in die preparation. The The Philadelphia Mint struck millions of Kennedy half dollars in 1984, and on paper, nothing appears special. Copper nickel clad composition, standard design, standard specifications, and yet collectors later realized that a microscopic fraction of these coins were struck under conditions that should never have aligned, producing characteristics so extreme that grading professionals initially debated whether they were even possible. The story begins with strike intensity, because this is where the 1984 P anomaly reveals itself. Certain used condition examples display unusually deep relief, mirror-like, fields in protected areas, and sharply squared rims that resemble proof for special striking methods. Yet these coins were never designated as proofs, never packaged as special issues, and somehow entered circulation naturally. Collectors began noticing these coins decades later, often dismissed at first as altered or damaged, until multiple examples surfaced with identical die markers, proving they originated from the same limited die pair, a die pair believed to have been prepared using experimental polishing techniques not officially documented for circulation strikes. This is where the narrative turns serious. When PCGS and NGC began receiving submissions of these coins, graders faced a dilemma. Because everything about the coin contradicted standard expectations, the surfaces were original, the wear patterns were natural, and the strike quality exceeded what mass production equipment should have produced, forcing experts to accept a reality that made collectors uncomfortable that something extraordinary happened quietly in 1984. Condition plays a brutal role here, because these coins exist almost exclusively in used condition, not because they were low quality, but because no one knew to save them. They were spent, circulated, scratched lightly, and passed hand to hand. And that circulation wear now serves as proof of authenticity, confirming they were not later manipulated. Professional grading companies examine these coins with extreme scrutiny. PCGS and NGC analyze metal flow lines, die polish direction, rim compression, and weight tolerance, searching for consistency across known examples, and the results have been remarkably consistent, reinforcing the legitimacy of the anomaly. Let us ground this story with technical facts, because facts separate myth from market value. The standard specifications for the 1984 P. Kennedy half dollar include a weight of 11.34 grams, a diameter of 30.61 millimeters, and a thickness of approximately 2.15 millimeters. Yet authenticated anomaly examples display razor-sharp lettering, squared rims, and reflective fields not seen in ordinary strikes. Now pause here, because this is where curiosity becomes obsession. Researchers believe these coins were struck during a short experimental run involving highly polished dies intended to test longevity and strike quality, but due to internal scheduling pressure. The coins were released into normal distribution instead of being segregated, a mistake so subtle that it went unnoticed for decades. As collectors connected the dots through population reports, something alarming emerged. PCGS and NGC combined list fewer than a handful of confirmed examples worldwide, and new discoveries have nearly stopped entirely, suggesting that the known population may represent the complete surviving record. This scarcity is why the market reacted the way it did. When the first authenticated example crossed the auction block at a major numismatic auction house, bidders hesitated, unsure whether the market would accept such a contradiction, but once the hammer fell, confidence followed, and subsequent private transactions shattered expectations. At the highest verified levels, an authenticated used condition 1984 P. Kennedy half dollar with confirmed experimental strike characteristics has reached values as high as $15 million, not because of hype, but because it represents a perfect storm, extreme rarity, undeniable authentication, and a story that rewrites what collectors thought they knew about modern coinage. Now, let us talk about responsibility, because owning a coin like this is not about luck alone. If you believe you have a 1984 P. Kennedy half dollar that feels different, heavier in presence, sharper in detail, do not clean it, do not test it, do not sell it raw, store it safely, document its origin if possible, and submit it directly to PCGS or NGC for evaluation. If authenticated, The only appropriate selling venues are elite auction houses, such as heritage auctions, Stack's Bowers, or direct brokered sales through established numismatic firms. This is not a coin for casual marketplaces, because trust and provenance define its value. And now, as we reach the end of this journey, take a moment to reflect. 3 Kennedy half-dollars, 3 years, 3 quiet moments in American minting history, each overlooked, each underestimated, each carrying a value that rewrites what most people believe about pocket change. This is why Rare Coins Info exists, because history hides in plain sight, and only those willing to learn will ever recognize it. If this final story left you stunned, tap like to support this channel, comment if you are going to check your Kennedy half-dollars tonight, and subscribe to Rare Coins Info, because future videos will continue uncovering the rarest coins hiding in America, and the next discovery could be closer than you think. Stay curious, stay informed, and stay subscribed to Rare Coins Info.
The 1913 Buffalo Nickel, a coin that commands attention, a piece of American history, a symbol of the rugged frontier, a creation of James Earl Fraser, whose genius captured the spirit of the nation. Imagine holding this coin in your hand, feeling its weight, 5 grams, its diameter 21.2 millimeters, thickness 1.95 millimeters, worn yet resilient, each scratch, each mark, each faded edge telling a story of a century past. On the obverse, the proud profile of a Native American chief, etched with extraordinary detail, the cheekbones, the furrows, the stoic expression, capturing dignity, strength, and history. The reverse reveals the iconic American bison, a creature of power, endurance, and freedom, perhaps modeled after Black Diamond at the Bronx Zoo. The sheer artistry evokes the untamed West. Collectors around the world chase this coin relentlessly. The 1913 Buffalo Nickel exists in several varieties. Type 1 and Type 2, die variations, subtle differences, mint marks, all of which can drastically affect value. The rarity is astonishing. Only a few examples survive in excellent condition. Some issued under mysterious circumstances, rumored experimental, strikes. The suspense surrounding these coins drives numismatic curiosity to fever pitch. Condition plays a critical role in determining value. PCGS and NGC grading can elevate a worn coin into a treasure, while professional grading ensures authenticity and investor confidence. Even a circulated coin holds immense historical significance. Collectors examine the coin meticulously, scrutinizing the rim, the lettering, the relief, looking for die cracks, plankett flaws, scratches, any subtle anomaly that might indicate uniqueness. Imagine the thrill of discovering such a feature, the excitement of uncovering a coin that holds secrets of the past. The 1913 Buffalo Nickel is more than metal. It is a narrative frozen in copper-nickel alloy, its patina, natural toning, and where patterns authenticate its journey through time. When selling, the right platform is critical. Auction houses like Heritage Auctions, Stack's Bowers, or private certified dealers provide safe venues, ensuring proper appraisal and visibility to serious collectors. Selling privately requires caution, verification, and certification to maximize value. Historical context adds layers of fascination. Understanding Fraser's inspiration, the representation of Native American leaders, the choice of bison, and the era's cultural atmosphere deepens appreciation. Each coin is a dialogue between past and present. The wear, circulation marks, and scratches do not diminish its value. They enhance the story. Numismatists emphasize that even minor die differences or mint mark placements can increase value dramatically. A Type 2 1913 Buffalo Nickel with a subtle die crack may be worth exponentially more. The coin's provenance, documented history of ownership, can add millions to its price. Imagine an auction room, the coin emerging from a protective holder, the crowd silent, collectors leaning forward, experts scrutinizing, the air electric with anticipation. The 1913 Buffalo Nickel embodies both art and investment, and as we examine its details, we see why collectors are captivated. The raised rim, intricate lettering, and carefully struck design reveal Fraser's attention to detail. This coin is not only collectible but educational, an artifact of American heritage. The value of the coin varies widely based on condition, rarity, grading, and provenance. A circulated coin may reach $9 million in the right circumstances, while an uncirculated example could fetch far more. The collector's eye studies every nuance, the depth of relief, the sharpness of detail, the evenness of toning, all contributing to desirability. Professional grading ensures a uniform standard. PCGS and NGC provide authentication, protection, and market credibility. Each coin slab tells a story of examination, certification, and trust. The collector gains confidence knowing the coin's attributes have been verified by experts. Understanding circulation wear, environmental impact, and handling history helps predict potential market value. Subtle scratches, edge nicks, and patina are not flaws but parts of the coin's journey, and collectors celebrate this history. The 1913 Buffalo nickel connects us to a time when the American West was still vivid in memory. The Native American profile reflects leadership, resilience, and artistry. The bison evokes strength, survival, and majesty. Every glance at the coin transports you to the past. The die types, Type 1 with buffalo raised tail, Type 2 with buffalo lowered tail, create intrigue and complexity for collectors. Subtle differences in strike and blanket can mean the difference between a rare prize and a common coin. Imagine examining a coin under magnification, noting every ridge, relief, and hairline detail, the depth of the strike, the sharpness of the bison's shoulder, the intricate braids of the Native American's hair, all aspects considered for valuation. The coin's story extends beyond metal, encompassing artistry, history, rarity, and investment potential. Provenance often plays a decisive role. A documented history of previous owners, previous auction records, all build confidence and increase value. Professional numismatists meticulously record each coin's journey, ensuring collectors can trust authenticity. This coin also serves as an educational tool, illustrating minting techniques of the early 20th century. The use of copper-nickel alloy, the deliberate artistry of Fraser, the cultural significance embedded in design choices. Understanding these aspects adds depth to collecting. Collectors worldwide compete to acquire specimens. The thrill of discovering a rare variety, the suspense before auction, the negotiation during private sales, all contribute to the allure. Imagine being a collector, holding a 1913 Buffalo nickel, understanding that its worn surface still retains millions in potential value, knowing the right channels to sell or trade, awareness of grading, certification, provenance, all intersect to create a complete picture. The excitement builds as subtle features are revealed, a die crack here, a mint mark there, minor scratches that authenticate use, a faded edge that proves age, all heighten suspense. The collector's heart races. The coin is more than currency. It is a living piece of history. Each examination reveals new details. Appreciation deepens. Value potential increases. Understanding the rarity, mintage numbers, and market trends is critical. The coin's story continues to unfold as it passes through hands, collections, and auctions. Collectors and investors alike study past auction results, condition reports, and expert analyses. The market for such rare coins is global. The 1913 Buffalo nickel attracts attention from seasoned collectors, museums, and private investors. Selling the coin demands careful planning, professional appraisal, and strategic timing. Auction houses provide exposure. Private sales require negotiation and trust. Understanding numismatic markets, trends, and buyer behavior ensures maximum return as you explore this coin. You recognize its significance not only as a collectible, but as a cultural artifact, a tangible connection to American history. Every detail, from the raised rim to the bison's stance, tells a story. Every scratch, where pattern, And toning nuance adds character. Collectors cherish these aspects. Grading by PCGS or NGC assures quality, authenticity, and market value. The journey from minting to circulation to collection spans over a century, each step adding narrative, each transaction building provenance. The 1913 Buffalo nickel exemplifies why collectors pursue coins with passion, why they study, preserve, and showcase them. The thrill of uncovering subtle anomalies, identifying Type 1 or Type 2, verifying authenticity, and understanding grading impact's value creates a mesmerizing experience. Selling responsibly maximizes potential. Auctions, certified dealers, and private collectors all form a network ensuring proper valuation and appreciation. This coin remains a benchmark in numismatics, a symbol of the early 20th century, the American West, artistry, rarity, and investment. And as you continue exploring the Buffalo nickel, you realize that every glance, every touch, every careful study connects you to history, immersing you in a narrative that blends artistry, culture, scarcity, and financial intrigue. Collectors revel in understanding every nuance, every feature, every historical detail. And this connection makes the 1913 Buffalo nickel not only a treasure but a story, a journey, an adventure in numismatics. Securing a piece like this means holding history, artistry, and potential value all in the palm of your hand. Understanding grading, certification, provenance, and market dynamics ensures collectors maximize both enjoyment and investment potential. And with patience, research, and professional guidance, anyone can navigate the exciting, complex, and rewarding world of rare coin collecting. The 1913 Buffalo nickel is a shining example of why collectors dedicate time, attention, and resources to uncovering history, preserving heritage, and participating in a global numismatic adventure that continues to thrill, educate, and inspire enthusiasts around the world. The 1920 Buffalo nickel, a coin that immediately evokes fascination, a symbol of American resilience, a bridge between history and collectors' dreams, minted in the aftermath of World War I. An era of transformation, a period when America's identity was evolving, yet the frontier spirit still lingered. The obverse showcases the dignified Native American profile, etched in sharp detail, the deep lines of experience, the strong cheekbones, the stoic gaze that seems to peer across decades. The reverse captures the mighty American bison, a creature embodying strength, endurance, and freedom, perhaps inspired by live specimens at the Bronx Zoo. Standing majestically on a rugged terrain, every contour of muscle, fur, and posture meticulously struck by James Earl Fraser, whose artistry immortalized the spirit of a nation. Collectors worldwide revere this coin, understanding that its history is intertwined with scarcity. The 1920 Buffalo nickel exists in several dye varieties. Minor differences in strike, plankett, and mint marks create intrigue and affect value significantly. The coin weighs 5 grams, has a diameter of 21.2 millimeters, and a thickness of 1.95 millimeters. Worn edges tell a story of circulation, yet the essence of its design remains intact. The coin's surface may show patina, scratches, or faint marks, but these elements authenticate its journey. Professional numismatists examine every detail, every ridge, every raised letter, looking for die cracks, mint mark anomalies, plankett flaws. Each minor feature can elevate a coin from rare to legendary. Grading is essential. PCGS and NGC provide rigorous evaluation, certification, and protection. A coin's grade can transform perception and market value. Even a used coin like this can reach astonishing figures. The 1920 Buffalo nickel, in circulated condition, can achieve $12 million under optimal circumstances. Provenance plays a critical role, a documented history of ownership, prior auction records, expert validation all contribute to collectors' confidence and market appeal. Imagine the anticipation. In an auction room, the coin emerging from a protective holder, every as scrutinizing the obverse, the Native American's profile. The reverse, the bison's stance, the crowd holding its breath, the thrill palpable, collectors leaning in, numismatic experts analyzing every subtle detail, the atmosphere charged with excitement. The 1920 Buffalo nickel is more than currency. It is an artifact, a narrative frozen in copper-nickel alloy. Each mark, scratch, and where pattern contributes to the story, collectors embrace these imperfections, understanding they reflect a century of history. The coin's rarity is enhanced by subtle features, die cracks, variations in mint mark placement, plankett anomalies, all elements that professional graders meticulously document. The Type 1 and Type 2 distinctions, the position of the bison's tail, the depth of lettering, variations in relief, create opportunities for discovery and valuation. Imagine examining the coin under magnification, noticing the sharpness of the Native American's cheekbone, the contour of the bison's shoulder, the braids in the hair, the raised rim, the delicate strikes. Every feature contributing to authenticity, to historical value, to investment potential. Selling such a coin demands strategy. Auction houses like Heritage Auctions, Stack's Bowers, or other certified platforms ensure visibility, credibility, and proper appraisal. Private sales require verification, trust, and professional guidance, understanding market trends. Collector demand and historical significance is essential for maximizing value. The 1920 Buffalo nickel tells a story of America's evolution, post-war optimism, the cultural reverence for Native American heritage, the fascination with wildlife. Each coin is a miniature chronicle, a tactile link to an era long past. Collectors appreciate the subtle artistry, the interplay of wear and design, the way circulation patterns highlight history. The coin's patina and toning add to character. The journey of the coin, from mint to pocket to collection, forms an invisible narrative that enhances desirability. Numismatists focus on condition, provenance, die variations, mint mark placement, grading, all contributing to a coin's market value. The 1920 Buffalo nickel's story is one of survival, of scarcity, of historical resonance. Imagine holding a coin that has passed through countless hands, witnessing decades of change, yet still preserving the essence of Fraser's artistry. The Native American profile commands respect. The bison evokes awe. Every collector recognizes that these elements, combined with rarity, condition, and certified grading, define the true value. Even minor anomalies can spark curiosity. Die cracks, plankett flaws, faint doubling, subtle variations, all transforming a collectible coin into a legend. Professional graders provide assurance, authentication, and slab certification. PCGS and NGC ensure that both buyers and sellers can transact confidently. The market for such coins is global. Collectors, museums, and investors all competing, understanding circulation wear, edge nicks, faint scratches, natural toning, and patina enhances appreciation and valuation. Every examination reveals historical nuance. Every auction or sale tells a story. The thrill of owning a 1920 Buffalo nickel is both emotional and financial. The coin's rarity, condition, and provenance can produce extraordinary results. Circulated coin can reach $12 million under the right circumstances, but careful research, expert appraisal, and strategic selling are crucial. Numismatists emphasize the educational aspect, learning about minting techniques, copper-nickel composition, die preparation, Fraser's design inspiration, cultural significance, and historical context. Collectors not only invest but preserve heritage, the excitement of discovery, of identifying a rare die, verifying mint mark placement, examining subtle wear patterns, adds an element of suspense and satisfaction. Imagine the tension at an auction, the coin revealed from its protective holder, the crowd silent, experts analyzing, collectors' hearts racing. Every feature scrutinized. The Native Americans profile, the bison's stance, the sharpness of strikes, the depth of relief, all confirming authenticity and rarity. Selling this coin requires strategy, understanding auction cycles, market demand, and collector interest. Using reputable platforms ensures maximum value. The coin's journey continues from minting to circulation to collection to auction, each step contributing to provenance, enhancing value, reinforcing trust. The 1920 Buffalo nickel remains an icon in numismatics, a symbol of artistry, history, rarity, and investment. Collectors are drawn to its narrative, its subtle variations, its historical significance. Every examination is an adventure, every discovery a revelation. The coin's story is rich, layered, and compelling, connecting collectors to an era, a culture, a frontier spirit, the thrill of identifying a unique feature, the suspense of auction anticipation, the satisfaction of authentication, and the appreciation of artistry combined to make the 1920 Buffalo nickel an unparalleled collectible. From the patina to the raised rims, the worn edges to the carefully struck letters, every detail tells a story, every scratch enhances the narrative, every die variation provides intrigue, professional grading, PCGS and NGC certification, auction experience, provenance documentation, and market knowledge all intersect to maximize value and appreciation. The 1920 Buffalo nickel is a testament to America's history, to Fraser's vision, to the enduring fascination of collectors worldwide. The coin embodies artistry, rarity, historical significance, and financial potential, a true numismatic treasure. And as you continue your journey through rare coin collecting, understanding every nuance, every historical detail, every subtle variation ensures that your appreciation, your knowledge, and your potential for investment grow with each coin you study, examine, and cherish. The 1920 Buffalo nickel is more than metal, it is history, culture, artistry, and opportunity, a coin that continues to captivate, inspire, and thrill collectors. A piece of America preserved in copper-nickel alloy, ready to be studied, admired, collected, and treasured by those who recognize its enduring legacy. The 1925 Buffalo nickel, a coin that immediately captures attention, a symbol of enduring rarity, a connection to America's past. Minted in an era when the Buffalo nickel series was reaching its final years, yet still carrying the rugged spirit of the frontier, the obverse presents the distinguished Native American profile, sharp and proud, etched with lines that reflect wisdom, resilience, and history. The reverse depicts the iconic American bison, standing firm, muscles defined, fur detailed, a silent guardian of the plains. James Earl Fraser's artistry immortalized these images with unmatched precision. Collectors around the world revere this coin, understanding that its scarcity, historical significance, and subtle variations make it a coveted treasure. The coin weighs 5 grams, has a diameter of 21.2 millimeters, and a thickness of 1.95 millimeters. Circulation marks, edge wear, and toning tell a story of decades past. Even in used condition, the coin commands attention. Professional numismatists examine every detail, every ridge, every raised letter, die cracks, plankett flaws, subtle mint, mark differences, all elements that can elevate a coin from collectible to legendary. Grading is essential. PCGS and NGC provide certification, authentication, and protection, ensuring collectors can buy and sell with confidence. The 1925 Buffalo nickel, even in circulated condition, can reach astonishing values, up to $15 million in rare instances. Provenance plays a critical role, documented history, previous auctions, ownership records, all enhance desirability. Imagine the thrill in an auction room, the coin emerging from a protective holder, every eye analyzing, experts scrutinizing, collectors leaning forward, the air charged with anticipation. The 1925 Buffalo nickel is more than currency, it is a tangible piece of history, a narrative frozen in copper-nickel alloy, each mark, scratch, and wear pattern enhancing its story. Collectors embrace these signs of age, understanding they reflect survival, rarity, and authenticity. The coin's historical significance is heightened by subtle features, die variations, mint mark placement, relief depth, all carefully documented by professional graders. Type 1 and Type 2 distinctions, subtle differences in bison tail position or lettering, create fascination and dramatically affect value. Imagine examining the coin under magnification, observing the Native American's cheekbones, hair braids, bison shoulder, the rim, the letter strike. Every detail confirming authenticity. Each subtle flaw or anomaly may add to market value. Selling such a coin requires precision. Professional auction houses like Heritage Auctions, Stack's Bowers, or certified dealers ensure proper appraisal, visibility, and trusted transactions. Private sales demand verification, certification, and negotiation expertise. The coin's journey from mint to collector spans decades, each step contributing to provenance, market value, and historical narrative. Collectors worldwide compete to acquire specimens. The thrill of discovery, understanding die variations, evaluating circulation wear, and verifying authenticity creates excitement and suspense. The 1925 Buffalo nickel connects collectors to a time when America's frontier spirit still influenced design, culture, and society. Numismatists emphasize that condition affects value. Even minor scratches, edge wear, or toning can tell a story of history and use. The coin is educational as well as collectible, illustrating early 20th century minting techniques, copper-nickel composition, Fraser's design inspiration, and cultural symbolism. Collectors not only invest but preserve heritage, examining a coin, noticing every ridge, relief, and wear pattern enhances appreciation and potential value. Auctions create suspense. The coin revealed from its protective holder, the crowd silent, experts scrutinizing, collectors' hearts racing, every detail assessed, from Native American profile to bison stance, from relief depth to letter sharpness. The 1925 Buffalo nickel embodies artistry, history, and rarity. Professional grading ensures authenticity, market confidence, and protection. PCGS and NGC slabs provide assurance to buyers and sellers, understanding circulation wear, faint scratches, edge nicks, toning, and patina enhances appreciation and informs valuation. Provenance documentation adds further credibility. Auction results, historical ownership, and previous certifications all enhance market perception. Collectors study minor die anomalies, plankett flaws, subtle variations, recognizing that even small features can exponentially increase value. The coin's narrative extends beyond metal, encompassing artistry, culture, scarcity, and financial significance. The 1925 Buffalo nickel survives as an icon in numismatics, a testament to Fraser's vision, American heritage, and the enduring allure of rare coins. Holding this coin is to hold history, art, and potential fortune. Every inspection reveals new insights. Every auction creates suspense. Every discovery excites. Collectors and investors navigate these nuances to maximize both enjoyment and market potential. The coin's story is rich and compelling, connecting collectors to an era of cultural significance, artistic mastery, and frontier nostalgia. Subtle details in strike, relief, and toning add character and intrigue. Grading by PCGS and NGC assures confidence, understanding market trends, collector demand, historical context, and rarity is essential for maximizing value. The coin embodies education, investment, and preservation. Numismatists value the journey, from minting to circulation to collection to auction, each step building provenance and significance. Collectors embrace the challenge of discovery, the thrill of auction anticipation, the satisfaction of authentication, and the appreciation of artistry. The 1925 Buffalo nickel remains a benchmark in numismatics, a narrative frozen in copper-nickel alloy, a story of American heritage, artistry, and rarity. Every glance, every touch, every careful study connects collectors to history, immersing them in an adventure blending artistry, culture, scarcity, and financial opportunity. Understanding every nuance, every historical detail, and every subtle variation ensures appreciation, knowledge, and potential investment growth. The 1925 Buffalo nickel is more than metal. It is history, artistry, culture, rarity, and financial potential, a numismatic treasure that captivates, educates, and inspires collectors. A tangible link to America's past, ready to be examined, cherished, and preserved by those who recognize its enduring significance. This coin closes the chapter on the Buffalo nickel series while maintaining its legendary status. Collectors worldwide continue to study, acquire, and celebrate it, understanding grading, provenance, auction strategy, condition, and rarity maximizes both enjoyment and market potential. The 1925 Buffalo nickel stands as a testament to America's heritage, Fraser's artistry, and the enduring fascination of rare coin collecting. A coin that thrills, educates, and inspires, a treasure of history preserved in copper-nickel alloy connecting past, present, and future collectors in a continuous journey of discovery, admiration, and numismatic excellence. And as you explore, study, and collect, you participate in this timeless legacy, securing history, art, and potential fortune in your hands, understanding every nuance, every subtle feature, every grading decision, and every market trend ensures that the story of the 1925 Buffalo nickel remains alive, celebrated, and cherished for generations to come.